Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning with me, Brigand Hall. We'll talk to her in a minute. We're going to start at the north side of town, then work our way through and speak to all the NPCs here. Really need to plant one more reagent. I wonder where it's at. All the way down there. Alright, we're not going to finish that quest for a long time. Frost Reaver Gauntlets. Recovered by ransom after their owner, Princess Fiona was ambushed and murdered by a rival Losifar faction. Okay, we can at least see what they look like. Oh, I like that. I like that blue-gray color. Back when gel pens were all the rage, that was one of my favorite colors. Back when I was in like 3rd grade. Tyrion's Rest Hymnal. Supplementary to the Lilfarian's hymns? I don't know, the 2 L's throwing me off. Lilfarian's hymns. Who Lyria loves. She who Lyria loves, Lyria protects. He who is pure of heart and mind she guards. She who stands among the proud is blessed. But he who's not worthy from Galafor is barred. A mighty time. Remember when it was, when the Fae marched on our lands. Remember how they marched in war. March with bloody hands. And know though they are wicked, and know though they are vile, they were tools of Lyria's wrath, and destined all the while. Blessed Galafor, Galafor, good and pure, Fae no more, no vagrant and no poor, not since the war, in Galafor. I'm not gonna read that. Town Charter. Tyrion's Rest Village Charter. Priestess Arella Corellin. It being 1 year since the wars left the plains of Erethil, and our village during all the storm and fever of these times, having been spared entirely from harm, let it be hereby resolved, jeez. We who dwell here solemnly swear that it was Lyria and Lyria alone, goddess of fate, who spared our lives and livelihoods, and it is she, we think, that we live and thrive today. And I, Priestess Arella Corellin, have heard the voice of my goddess, Lady Lyria, call me unto service. Shall serve this place as mayor and as guide. It is the wish of all, and my humble duty to do so. In honor of the blessings bestowed upon us, this village, once known as Losovic, or Leosovic, shall now be Tirin's Rest, for it was here that the priestess Baila Tirin made camp, on her way to Rathir, spreading word of Lyria's greatness where she went. We, the new people of new name Tirin's Rest, declare this valley of Galafor to be the Valley of the Blessed. For those who Lyria did not love were cast out, while those who loved her dearly and wholly, she favored with safety and respite in times of war, or respite. From hence onward, none shall dwell in our valley who have not been similarly blessed, for it is a sacred place, and not be profaned by the common lot. Well, I was trying another fix for the stuttering. Still getting it, of course. I don't think there's ever going to be a fix. I don't think I want to go in here yet. we'll take a peek. There's a quest in here. We will, Oh yeah, I messed around with the urns off camera. I tried every combination and nothing new happened, so I looked it up. It turns out, like, the purpose of the urns is to... summon that boggart. The boggart that I summoned last episode is actually supposed to follow you around. It's like a companion. Who can die, but ours bugged out according to the wiki. Sometimes he'll bug out and he just won't do anything besides stand there. Or dance, or whatever the description was. So I had completed that, because I did get that like 15,000 experience, or 1,500 experience. Whatever it was. It's saying there's a healer in here, but I did not see that. Let me check something. If I do the, It doesn't tell me to go back in there. We know there's a quest in there, so we can deal with that later.
For truly, my children, we are loved and blessed by Lyria. Lyria, goddess of fate, who holds the cards that spell our mortal lives. Those she holds dear prosper and thrive, yet the strong and the proud fall beneath her displeasure. Go in peace, be guided and blessed by Lyria, my children.
Of Lyria be blessed.
Greetings, traveler. I am the mayor of this village, its priestess, and its guiding light. Now tell me, child, are you also a follower of the goddess Lyria?
Sure. Yeah, yes I am. Why would I lie about that? I cannot decide who I want to follow.
Then you are most welcome here to the village of Tirin's Rest. If you seek healing, I can aid you. The doors of our inn, trader, locksmith, and sanctuary are all gladly open to the weary visitor.
Tirin's Rest.
Our village is a lesson in Lyria's blessings. Take the two villages, Tirin's Rest and Colne. When the Tuathas struck this land, which stood strong? That which loved Lyria most.
Okay, the war.
We must do what we can for our Alfar soldiers across the water. Mayra, our innkeep, takes donations for the cause.
Priestess Corlon.
In the 10 years since war swept across these plains,
Excuse me.
I have guided this village by Lyria's light and by the wisdom of her teachings. I was a humble student of faith when I heard the call. It was so keen and clear. I left the temple that day to serve my people as I could.
Lyria.
Why, Lyria is the goddess of magic and of all good, Alfar. Those who love and cleave to her will prosper, as we have done.
Healing.
By my lady Lyria's grace, I have the power to heal and to cure.
Colne.
You may visit its ruins on the coast. They are a testament to what befall all who displease my lady of fate. Aethiof's daughter, and the others who went to resettle there, showed great ignorance as to the finality of her will.
That's funny. The Lady of Fate.
Bless you, child.
Well, I am the man of unfate. Oh, here it is. A shadow prism. Yay. Alright, a lot of people to talk to in
A
here.
new face.
Not a refugee, are you? Don't look it. No Fae, no refugees, not in Tirin's Rest.
Tirin's Rest. White Nil Kern. It's a weird name.
I fought in the war, but Priestess Corellon is my general now. Without her guidance, every one of us will be huddled in tents like refugees.
The war.
I fought in Gallifore Plain and the War of Paris. Took a wound in Oriator's lance. I serve my time, serve with honor.
Refugees.
They'd have done well to lead a pious life before the war. They think they can come crawling here for a second chance. But it's too late. The wheat has been parted from the chaff. There is nothing for them but to accept their fate as Lyria dealt it.
He is the worst kind of person. Priestess Corellon.
The priestess guides, and I guard. She lights the path, and I keep a sharp eye for those that stray.
Faye.
Tuatha, summer, winter, it makes no difference. They're no friend of mortal kind. What do you expect of a thing with no grasp of morality, or honor, or death? Well?
Alright, Kel's Cafferty.
Approach and await the wisdom of the fates. I am the great Kel's Cafferty, sworn and scrupled servant to the Sisters of Destiny. Speak, that I may divine your future, and through my gift, bless your mortal soul.
Tirin's Rest.
This town is full of old fools. Most of them will believe anything you tell them.
Kel's Cafferty.
I don't like strangers who ask a lot of questions.
I don't like people that have floating lip rings, so here we are. Durfil.
I'm sure Durfil is not very fond of me. I beat him in a game of cards many years ago, fair and square. Well, by my standards, anyway.
Alright, I'm here to buy the Bloodstone.
Traditionally, this sort of transaction happens under more discreet circumstances, if you understand my meaning. Tell you what, I'll part with it for a hefty price.
Well, I've got a hefty purse. Half that and it's a deal.
Very well. It's practically highway robbery, but I'm not in any condition to argue.
Alright, well, here's the money.
Pleasure doing business, friend.
Alright. Oh gosh.
Tuatha, Sealy, they're all the same.
Florian Brennick.
Here's a valiant adventurer come to sleepy Tirin's Rest. The war cheer you up and spit you out too? If not, it will. And you'll find yourself in some damn tavern, rotting behind a mug of ale.
Tirin's Rest.
It's a fine hill, if you like to sit and rot in your old age. That or praise Lyria's toes morn, noon and night.
The War.
The war? Ha! The war's a grislier beast than these poor fools have dreamt of.
Refugees.
Let's not the talk of them in this village. Lyria doesn't love them, or so I've heard. And she's not the only one.
Florian Brennick.
Just a sorry old remnant of the war. Not sorrier than those damn refugees, the poor sots. Goodbye, then.
Irene Meniad.
Oh, I'm sorry. I almost didn't notice you. I'm making remarkable progress in my research. You see, I'm writing the definitive biography on General Oriator.
Tirin's Rest.
You shouldn't think all Loselfar are so devoted to Lyria. Where I come from, in the north, we take a much more balanced view.
General Oriator.
Without his courage and tactical brilliance, we'd never have driven the Tuatha from the plains. He and General Varlane are why I've come here, to comb the old battlefields for clues of what happened.
Old battlefields.
The first was the Battle of Gallifore Plain, then... Oh, don't get me started.
Tell me about the war.
Well, the Battle of Gallifore Plain was the first triumph pinned to Oriator's name. Then into Willy, the Dawn March, the War of Parries, Varlane's Gambit, and finally, Oriator's Stand. He died driving the Tuatha from Erethel.
General Varlane.
You might say she was the moon to Oriator's sun. Oh, I know some would take offense to my saying that. All the same, it's true.
Florian.
The veteran? He has lapsed into drunkenness. He's of no use to my research, or any other way besides.
Irene Meniad.
I come from the far north. Although we are farther from the action, a war against the Alfar is a war against us all.
Mayra Mon. Or Mayra Maun.
Welcome to the Reed Song Inn. Come in, and Lyria light your way.
If you can spare a coin for our troops in the war, well then, all the better.
Tyrion's Rest.
High Priestess Tirin made camp right here on her sojourn to settle Rathir. It is said she was given a vision by Lyria on this very ground.
The War.
I hear the conditions in Cluricon are just wretched. My own son was there, gave his life for the cause. That's why I've taken up collection. Every coin goes to those poor soldiers across the water.
A room.
A room in the inn? Why, you're in luck. I have one to spare.
No thank you.
Well, if you ever do, you need but ask.
Reed Song Inn.
As long as you're not a sodding fae, you're most welcome here.
Lyria.
Our goddess and protector, the Alphar's guiding light. It was her will we were spared the fae sword 10 years back.
You collect gold for the troops?
That I do. We all must do our part. Have you got a few coin to spare then?
What about veterans? Refugees?
And what about them? I don't see what they're doing to fight the fae.
For the troops?
There's a good soul. Say, would you do one more favor for an olden keep? This purse is full of collections. Would you be so good as to bring it to the box in our sanctuary? I can't go myself, and there's someone I can't trust.
Who don't you trust?
If you want to know the truth of it, someone's been swiping from the collections. We don't know who, but I'm sure you weren't the one.
Alright, I'll take it.
Lyria, bless your fate. Sanctuary's just across the bridge at the end of the walk. The box is inside. And if you happen upon the thief, and in my opinion it must take place in the darkest night, tell the priestess to white nil at once.
And where do I bring this purse?
The sanctuary's crossed the bridge and down the path. The box is inside. You can't miss it. And keep your eyes sharp. A little thief has been taking from that box. Sometime in the dead of night, I imagine. Goodbye, then.
Alright. Sounds like a job for old Donald. The Whited War. Okay. An account of the life of Nil the White Kern. Young Nil Kern was a callow youth when war came to the plains. War called to him and he stood and answered the only way honor would allow. He had not heard Lyria in his heart yet, nor had he seen the ugly truth of war. So he donned his armor and a robe of white. He took his sword and shield. Before the gates of Rathir he joined Varlane's ranks. Under Varlane he bravely fought. The conditions were grueling. 5 days they marched east, then 5 days south, then 5 north again. Though he thought of slaying the foe night and day, battle came upon him like a swift and deadly blow. The field was empty, and it was full of Tuatha, charging, screaming, waving swords. His side charged as well. Nil saw good men cut down. Some slayed 1 or a dozen foes. Some cried and soiled themselves and died like dogs. When the battle was done, Nil stood yet. Nil stood and looked upon the carrion of the day. War's an evil thing, he thought, yet fight we must. He washed his cape, brown with earth and red with blood, in the stream and girded himself for war. In the War of Perries, a young Nil learned the true art of war. Of knowing when and when not to sit still. Of staring the maddened enemy in the eye. Of killing without hesitation. When the day came, we would show the foe our might. He woke as he always did at dawn. He rose, stood outside his tent, and looked out upon the ranks and ranks of troops. They glistened under the sun. This would be known as Oriator's Lance. And though he did not know it, the most proud and most hard day of his innocent life. It would bring Lyria into his life, and a pain that in the small of his back that runs down the side of his leg, whenever storms threaten or he steps too heavily on that foot, like a spark traveling the length of him and leaving him weak. It would be the last day he would fight, and the first he earned the color white. White on his inside, and not just on his cape. Okay. How do I get up? Oh, there it is. War Giving Pamphlet. Though Fae have been driven from the plains of Arathil, do not think the war is won. Even now we have sons and daughters huddling in the gloom of Cluricon. There, in the Winterlands, it is cold, and our darling children need socks, blankets, new swords, and fine confections. Give what you can to send all these things and other necessaries to the front. Collections are taken by Mara at the Reed Song Inn, or directly at the box in the sanctuary. I think we spoke to everybody in here. Let me just double check.
The Narines are back. They shouldn't have come.
Yeah. That's everybody in here. If it's nighttime out, we'll go do that quest with the drop box real fast. That looks like nighttime to me.
Can I help you?
At the very least, there are stars in the sky. Alright, small label designates this box for donations to be sent to soldiers fighting off in Clerigon. Deposit may risk purse. Will they see me do it? So wants me to catch the thief. It's probably just a different time than when I was there.
You there! Halt! Don't let me.
We still made like 40 gold off that. So I stole what, 743? They charged me 702.
It's my daughter. She needs your help.
Ithiof Kurgrin.
Please, can't you help?
Maybe.
I need someone to travel to the Tawili coast. It's my daughter.
That's Willy Coast.
It's the land that lies along the western edge of the Forian Strait. The coast bore the brunt of the Tuatha invasion 10 years ago.
Tirin's Rest.
This is my adopted home. The people have been good to me here. But there is no use talking to them of certain things. I gave up trying long ago.
Cole.
The village stood alone along the Tawili coast, overlooking the sea. It was one of the first places to fall when the Tuatha invaded. Culn has been abandoned for years, and it's a place best forgotten. Anella was determined to rebuild it, though.
Ithiof Kurgrin.
I'm a merchant, originally of Culn, and I have seen my share of grief.
And what happened to your daughter?
Anella led a group of refugees to the town of Culn. I warned her not to go, but she's always been a strong-willed girl. I should have heard from her by now, and the caravanners say that bands of Tuatha have landed on the coast. If anything happened to Anella, I don't know what I'd do. Please, help me.
I'll see what I can do. What refugees?
It's been 10 years since we drove the Tuatha from these lands, and still the refugees are living in tents on the Forsaken Plain. They've talked of resettling Culn. Anella took up their cause and agreed to lead them there.
Alright, well, pay me first.
Oh, it seems I have no choice. If you're willing to go, I'll give you what I can.
Alright, I'll find Anella. You don't have enough space to hold the items you were given. There, drop in the bag.
At last! Mitharu bless you, friend. Anella led the refugees to the ruins of Culn on the Tawili coast. Look for her there. If she's hurt, bring her back safely. If she's dead...
Anella.
I know what Culn
Anella.
meant to her. She was just a child when we fled. But this is folly.
Where is Cole?
The ruins lie south of Rathir and the old battleground. If there's trouble, the settlers may have hidden, possibly in the village.
Tuatha Raiders.
Even though the Tuatha army is held inside Clerigon, small groups can sneak through the mountains and across the water. It's happened before. If the rumors are true, Anella and the refugees will be right in the path of any raiders. My Anella, I'm so worried.
No idea why there's an overturned cart behind the building, but sure. Locksmith. Ton of chests. I don't know why it's considered stealing in that one chest, but the other two chests down here in the basement, it isn't stealing. What am I doing wrong here? I'm pretty sure that was just an average lock, wasn't it? How is that so hard? Alright, where's that lab at?
Come out! We know you're in here. Somewhere.
Well, this is turning into a whole ordeal.
Gone? Hello? Is somebody there?
Yeah, somebody's here.
Thank goodness. They're gone.
Alright, Salvatore, Tyrion.
I see I have you to thank. You and my clever hiding place. Can't imagine what those churls were after. They kept barking on about the war sworn this and kill me that. But now tell me, what can I do to repay you? A brief lesson in the art of locks, perhaps?
Maybe. Training. Nope, can't teach me anything. Ruffians.
Louts and fools! I could see they wanted blood, so I dove for my hiding place. And not a moment too soon.
Locksmithing.
You have done me a good turn, Warsworn. Therefore, I am more than happy to share some of my considerable wisdom in the art of locks with you.
A hiding place.
One of my finest ideas. I built it precisely for times like these.
Can you tell me about this key?
What? Do you mean it didn't work? This is one of my greatest achievements. I recreated that ancient marvel perfectly. I promised that pledge shield. Finnan, that was her name. I promised her. Surely she had permission, yes? She swore to me. Oh, I see.
A Warsworn key.
The original. Truly an ancient wonder. Surely the combined work of Warsworn craftsmen and luminaries of the Scholia Arcana.
It was you who copied this key?
For Pledge Shield Finnan, yes. Now, if
That was
you will
easy.
see yourself out.
It's a very... I don't know, I felt like That quest should have been a little longer, but it's fine. We're progressing the Warsworn quest. That's all that matters. Kurgren and Brad, Mercantile.
Why, hello.
Hello, Guasto Brad? Guasto Brad? Wait, estimate of losses. Losses to Freeman. 3 fancy ladies' hats. Actually, I probably should have sold that, or did what I just did, because I'm about to talk to a merchant.
Welcome to Brad and Sergrin. What brings the likes of you to our peaceful little town? If it's trade, Aethiof and I are more than happy to have your business.
I mean, yeah, that train is exceptionally loud this morning. Wish there was an easier way to scroll to the bottom. Maybe I should just sell all of this stuff so I don't have to keep scrolling all the way to the bottom. But I think holding on to some of it's a good idea so that when I do sell... Or, because there are some quests that require me to craft. So I think it's a good idea to hold on to some of that stuff so I don't have to look for it later on. Trade.
Trade is good. Not what you'll find in Rathir, to be sure. But please, have a look for yourself.
The war.
We buried our things during the war. I left something I love. But with all the danger there, I won't go wading back.
Priestess Corlon.
The priestess is quite a boon to our community. I don't know if we'd be so prosperous without her guidance.
Guasto Brad.
Just an old merchant, enjoying a comfortable life in the countryside, although trade has been rather slow lately.
Aethiof.
My business partner. Poor fellow. He's lost so much to the coast. Now his own daughter's gone back there. It'd be a risky venture to say it will end well.
It's very peaceful here?
Oh yes. Lyria's blessing, our priestess calls it. We have good trade, good health. No violence, no crime. Why, not a soul's been thrown in the... Ah, Gwastel, you old fool. You never did know when to keep your mouth shut.
Not too late to hide it now.
No, I've said too much already.
Oh, come on. Now tell me, thrown in the what?
Now listen here. If I so much as breathe a word of the prisoner, Priestess Coralon will... Oh, but there I've gone again. Please, not a word of this to anyone.
Who is this prisoner?
I've said more than I should already. They'll be angry with me if they find out. Please, I beg you, don't tell anyone.
Alright, well tell me, and I won't tell anybody. Tirin's Rest.
I've gone and run on at the mouth again. Tirin's Rest is a lovely place, and what's done is done, and locked away and forgotten. Good day, then.
Tirin's Secret, huh? Well, I'm gonna go rest at the inn until midnight and see if we can knock out that other quest. I think that's all the locations, right? Locksmith. Yeah, that's all the locations. I don't think there's anyone unique out here to speak to. So I already spoke to Aethiof, and it's Sergrin, not Kergrin. Let's we knock out this Dropbox quest real fast, and...
Lyria bless you. What'll it be?
Does this town keep a prisoner?
Hush, child, don't talk such rot. This village harbors no blots on our blessedness. These refugees, they go elsewhere. That's all.
I delivered the purse.
There's a dear. If you happen to be around there at any odd times, do keep an eye for that thief. Lyria only knows when they're doing it. I'm sure the priestess or White Nil would want to hear of it if you did find the scoundrel.
Okay.
Our room in the inn? I think you'll find it lovely. A nicer spot. And how do you find it? Is the bed soft enough? The view outside to your liking?
That was a weird
Well,
laugh for
so
that
long.
comment. Alright. Alright, alright. How do I know what time it is? Jeez Louise. It's a ton of villagers. I think too many spawned or something. Because there was only one villager, one generic villager in that tavern beforehand. that was a ton of villagers. Yeah, it's midnight, or not midnight, it's nighttime again.
Welcome to Tirin's Rest.
I wonder if I need to rest like every hour. Come and check between every hour, see if I can find the thief.
Lyria, guide and protect us all.
Is there a way to check the time? I swear I remember seeing a time somewhere in this game. Just don't remember where. You know what? I'll fiddle with it off camera, I think. Maybe we'll open up the next episode with that quest, and, yeah. So let me get back to the tavern, then I'll call the episode there. I'll figure out what time the thief appears, and we'll start with the, start that quest in the next one. So anyway, I'm going to call it here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.